What's going on, guys? My name is Dylan Mangum, and I am currently cleaning out the truck from a past trip. And I thought that I'd share the drawer system setup that I have in the back of my 2004 Toyota Tacoma. So as you can see, we have the Tacoma right here. And with the first-gen Tacomas, there's not that many systems out there that you can actually buy and put into the back of the truck. So obviously I took a lot of inspiration from Goose Gear and went ahead and just started mocking something up and building something on my own. So today I'm going to just get a little bit of walk around of not only the system itself, but what I kind of store inside of it. And then also show little things that are kind of hidden back there and how I have everything set up. So let's get into it. So obviously let's start with just the things you see right when you open up the tailgate of the truck. Obviously we have over here just some Blue Sea charge ports, 12 volt USB, stuff like that. And then we also have a 120 outlet, as you can see right there. And then we have our power control for our inverter and everything. Actually, I will show all that once we get into the back part of this drawer system. What's really cool about this drawer system is it's actually two-part. So the drawers actually don't go all the way back there. They go probably a good 4 feet, and then the last foot is where my whole electrical system is stored. So that's kind of everything is run up through behind here into this panel up front. And then obviously too, we have a switch for our red LEDs that we can turn on at night, and they don't attract bugs, which is the best part. I almost did white LEDs, but we do a lot of camping at the beach and the bugs are terrible at the beach. So I wanted to make sure that we did red lights instead. So that's really awesome. Of course, we have our awning poles. This is for our OVS 270. This stays in the truck all the time. We rarely use these just because we don't need it with the OVS, but if it's really windy, we can put these out and tie everything down and it's good to go. On the other side is just things that I use on a day-to-day basis. This right here being just bungees, ratchet straps, things of that nature. And then here is more stuff for the awning. These are the straps to when you stretch it out to tie it to the vehicle so that it doesn't fold in on itself. So that's that. Then we have a little stool here. This is for the wife actually when she needs to get up into the back of the truck. And then finally, I have a yoga mat back here. And the purpose of this yoga mat is I've cut it to length so when we open this up, it fills the tailgate area. So when you go to put your knee on this to climb up into there, you're not bruising up your shins and knees all the time. So that's really nice to have, especially for the wife when she's needing to climb back up in there and get something that we've stored back there. That's why that is there. And I just keep it in the truck all the time because it's easy. I have from Harbor Freight the paper towel holders. They're magnetic, so I can kind of pull these off. And then once this shelf is actually folded down, I have the other one here, and then paper towels can hang down. So I just keep this in the truck all the time. On top, you can see that we have a drawer slide for our fridge. Comes all the way out. Doesn't tilt down, unfortunately, but it's done pretty well for us. I don't keep the fridge in all the time, mainly because this is my daily driver as well, and I don't like to carry everything around all the time. And then back behind here, you will see that I have Milwaukee Packout mounts for here. These were off Etsy, I believe, and they're milled out of aluminum, and they're really strong and stout, and that's for this pack out case over here. I like pack outs a lot, obviously, but this is the one that I take whenever we go on trips, and you'll be able to see that I have tools and miscellaneous parts, extra ball joints for the people out there that know about the first gen, and third gen full runner problems with their lower ball joints, so I always carry an extra pair there as well. So that's pretty much the outside of it. But now let's talk about the inside of it. So like I mentioned, I looked at all the Goose Gear products, and of course they don't make a Goose Gear system for the first gen specifically, but I could have bought one that I could have fit into place, but I wanted one that fit exactly the bed of this truck. I wanted to use as much space of the bed of the truck as possible and not have any like unusable space. So I decided to just make my own. So with this is all 80/20 aluminum that I got from 80/20 aluminum. And what's really cool about this is I was able to just measure everything. And then I drew it up on the computer. So you don't need much knowledge. You can just use like Google CAD or just a simple software. And with the measurements, I was able to figure out the exact measurements of all the parts that I needed. And then I just ordered it, and they sent it to my house. And then, of course, this is 3/4 inch birch, as well as the front of the plates, or front of the drawers right here. And then over here is an internal structure frame of 80/20. So all this you can see, but then behind here is actually 80/20 as well, just because I wanted to be able to put weight on top of this. But then I needed it to go as close as possible to the side of the bed. And if I put 80/20 there, then it kind of would have butted up. So I tried to build the frame internally so then I could have as much surface area. I know it doesn't make any sense, but when I was building it, I was like trying to get the contours of the bed and everything. And I think I did a pretty good job, especially just down here, even slitting out the pieces of wood for the ridges and the bottom of the bed. The one thing you really don't need is these corner pieces. I ended up spending a lot of extra money because I was going for the Goose Gear look. You don't need these corner pieces. You can just make these pieces longer and then join them on the inside with inserts. But these corner pieces are actually what costed me the most because I have them everywhere. And you really don't need that whatsoever. Then with the drawer slides, these are just off of Amazon. I think they are the 500 or 300 pound drawer slides, and they're full length drawer slides. So as you can see, it's not the full length of the bed. What I really like about these drawer slides in particular is that I can operate it with one hand. So a lot of drawer slides on both sides, you need to be able to press both of them at the same time. What's really cool is I can actually press this down and pull from the latch if I need to pull it all the way out. And then obviously, like, I don't do that all the time. I'll sometimes just pull this down and then with the other hand pull on this lever. But with me even holding the camera right now, I'm able to pull this out with one hand, which is nice if you're carrying anything. And that's with all of this actually. I can pull the drawer out for the fridge as well. And this was just a happy accident. This company is completely separate from this company, and they just both happen to be yellow, which is kind of nice. Finally, just some Amazon latches that are spring loaded. That way they stay down like that. So let's go ahead and pull this out. So as you can see, this is now ½ inch, actually no, 1/4 inch birch. And then this is the 3/4 inch birch. I did rhino line this. I think it's like 3 coats, and it's held up great. Obviously, like sliding things in and out sometimes will finally chip it, but overall it's lasted for almost 1.5 years like this, and it's holding up pretty well. The entire drawer system is built with pocket screws, as you can see down here and right here as well. I wanted to be able to easily service this, so I can just pop off this front plate here. If I need to reline this, or if I wanted to change the latch out or anything like that, I can just take the front of that off. I put a clear coat of stain on the inside. That way I really wanted the natural look of the wood, but at the same time I knew I needed to protect it. So that's kind of what I have here. And then finally, for the drawer slides itself, I just have these inserts down here that come all the way through. So then when I put the bolt in, it just locks in here. So it kind of pinches everything together. And of course, this is held up for over 1.5 years now. It's been across the country and back, and everything still slides in just fine. What took the longest was lining all this up right here. I had to get a bunch of shims and kind of just line everything up in order for me to then be able to pull this out and get the pocket screws in there. I spent the most time on that because I wanted to be able to make sure that when I looked at it, when it was closed, everything lined up perfectly. And it's held up perfectly for 1.5 years now. So I think I got it pretty spot on. So this is usually how the drawer system stays built. I like to keep everything in here. That way, when we go camping, everything's just kind of already here, ready to go. And I'll show that drawer here in a second. We also then have a shelf up here that this entire shelf is just camping stuff. So I know that if I have this stuff in the back of the truck, then I know I have everything that I need. Obviously, I don't take everything, like for like a weekend trip or anything. I'll just take a few of these items. But if we're going like on a week or 1.5 weeks long trip out west or something, I will have all this stuff. And if this entire shelving system is empty, I know I have everything and I'm not missing anything. So that's kind of how I've built that. Is the only stuff that goes on there is camping stuff. But then full time, this is kind of what stays in the drawer system. So I will kind of go around. Up here is the stuff that like I grab the most. So anything electrical, like headlamps, chargers, batteries, things of that nature. Of course, we got our like camp light as well. Binoculars, I like to kind of keep an eye on things. If I see something moving far away, I like to see. We have a carbon monoxide alarm. We used to sleep with a Mr. Buddy heater in our tent, so I was a lot more concerned. But right now we have a diesel heater, and I've got it exhaust the right way. So I don't worry about it too much, but we still sleep with it because, you know, you always want to sleep with it when you're in an enclosed space. Of course, we got a lighter. We got some bear mace, got some camp suds, stuff like that, that we just access on, we don't access the bear mace on a regular, but it's here, quick and easy access if we ever need it. The next thing is just kind of just a miscellaneous stuff. So we have like a mosquito candle repellent. Obviously, you've got to have your tunes, so this is pretty nice because we can just like hang it up anywhere. And this is probably our most prized possession right here, is just a Wise hand vacuum. I think I got this on sale for one of their like holiday specials for like $30. And this is so nice to have, to just vacuum up your space as well as like the tent and things like that. So we always keep that in there because we're both clean freaks and we like to just have a clean space. And even if like dirt shit's up here, we can vacuum it up and empty it out and we're good to go. We got the Jackery Explorer 300. It's always nice to have. We put this up in the tent with us at night. This will charge our phones and stuff of that nature. We've got like a full 100 amp hour battery back here, so I don't like rely on this too much to really like power anything, but it's just nice to have for backup. Of course, we got the chargers for the Jackery. We got the Sponge Daddy, Scrub Daddy. Those are, you know, everyone likes a Scrub Daddy. Then this is like our propane area. So even though I do carry a full 5-pound propane, we dedicate this to cooking only. I also have a Joomla like hot water shower system. So I carry these 1-pound tanks, not only for just backup in case our 5-pound empties, but we use these to actually power the shower, just because it's a lot easier to manage because our shower system is on the side of the truck. So I have the hosing for these smaller bottles, and each bottle will power that shower for like a good 30 to 45 minutes of hot water. So it's plenty, and these are just nice to have as backup. We do cook on a Blackstone. That's what we travel with. So of course I've got the hosing for the Blackstone. I've also installed a gauge on it so I can always keep an eye on our 5-pounder. we're also big coffee people, and we like to eat Mountain House meals every now and then. So I've got the tanks for the jet boil, and I've probably got too many, and some of these are probably half full or a quarter full or whatever. But I like to have extras, especially when you're already out there and then you're really looking forward to a hot cup of coffee and then you realize that you're out of gas. So I just have some of those extra. And then we just have a torch with the nozzle back here that we can light fires easy or do whatever we need to do. And we just carry the spout for our water jug that is on the back of the truck. This guy right here. We rarely use this, but we have the spout in case we ever do need to use it. So that's basically this drawer. And then you can see that that's literally back right there. So I think this drawer, I would say, is probably 4 feet long. So it stores everything. Everything stays perfectly fine. These are actually just like friction loaded dividers. If I were to choose, I should have routed the plywood on either side, but when I was building the drawer, I didn't know how the drawer was going to be set up at the time. So I didn't want to. I could have just like slotted a lot, and then we could have kind of just done whatever fit, but I already had these on hand from another build, so I just put these in and they've lasted across the country and back. So everything's good to go there. So let me go ahead and close this one. Everything still closes perfect. Let's open up this one right here, and I'll show you everything that's in this drawer. So of course we've got the coffee set up here, his and her coffee mugs, our jet boil. We've got 2 spoons, and again, like, this is like quick access stuff. So like I could have packed these spoons with like the rest of our utensils, but the spoons are what we kind of use the most. Again, another lighter. You can never have enough fire on hand. And then just like a carabiner to hang towels up and stuff like that. Then we have our AeroPress. This is how we make our coffee. Of course, we've got the filters. This is really nice right here. It's one of those like micro towels that like sucks up a bunch of water. So we usually use this as like a hand towel, or if we're needing to wash off our feet at night, we can dry our feet with this. This is really nice. Of course, we've got the toilet paper, and then we have the wash bay that kind of pops out whenever we need to wash dishes. We've got Ziploc bags. We've got aluminum foil, more Ziploc bags, Clorox wipes, cutting table. We've got a ton of plasticware. We do a lot of camping with a lot of our friends, and we do like big group cooks. So we'll like cook a dinner for like 10, 12 people at once. It's really nice to have these that we just sit on paper plates for everybody. So it's just nice to have. Of course, then we've just got the front runner utensil that has your forks, knives, spoons, cutlery, everything like that. So we have all that in there. And then back here is more Blackstone stuff. So we've got, of course, our utensils and our thing to scrape to clean. We've got an oven mitt, which is always nice to have for hot stuff. More utensils. So this is like spatulas, tongs, things of that nature. Then we've got our spices. So we've got the salt and pepper, obviously. And then we've got a lot more spices that we kind of just keep in this plastic bag, and we'll refill every now and then whenever we need more. Then we got cooking spray, more tongs, just because we're big bacon people, so having these are nice. And then we do have another we have another pan, just in case we ever need to cook anything, like on a fire or anything, and as well as the handle for that. And then I keep like just an emergency Sawyer like water filter thing in here. It just always stays in here. You never know if you're going to need it. And then right below we just have some actual bowls and plates for just me and the wife. It's not for anybody else. It doesn't weigh too much. I think it put like another probably 150, 200 pounds in the back when it's fully loaded. So it's not too bad. Especially with it being just an aluminum frame. I'll put some photos up actually so you can see what it looked like in the building stages. It took me probably 2 weekends to put together, so it wasn't too bad at all. So when I built the drawer system, this entire piece of birch is one piece, but when you open up this, you can actually see maybe that it's two pieces. So you can see the back of the drawer system right there. So this is an entire Renogy setup that I wired everything. So of course I've got a 1,000-watt inverter. Then I've got the Blue Sea fuse panel back here that just has a few accessories fused, like the switches, the USB ports. I have USB ports that go up to the tent, as well as I have the fridge hardwired in. That way it's just a lot easier to access power for it instead of worrying about a 12-volt plug-in getting disconnected while we're driving and then not knowing that the fridge is unplugged. Then we have a Renogy DC to DC. This is the 30 amp version. I wish I did the 50 amp version just because of the 100 amp hour battery. I have a high output alternator on the truck now, so the 50 amp would have been better for that situation, but at the time when I installed this, I had the stock alternator, and the battery needed a lot more power. Maybe when I pull the drawer system out to clean the truck, I'll probably go ahead and replace that. Of course, everything is fused as it should be. I actually added more fuses in between connections. That way I can, if I need to work on the inverter or this DC to DC, I can actually disconnect the battery. But then if I need to disconnect the entire system from the truck, I also have one over here as well. Finally, I don't know if you can see it back here, but the 100 amp hour battery is back here. It's currently bolted down with an aluminum type plate, as well as some straps. And then I've also got foam all the way around it. One, to keep it insulated as much as possible, but two, any vibrations, it kind of just stays in place. What's really cool about this battery is that it is self-heating. So if it gets cold outside, the self-heating element will turn on the battery and keep the battery at optimal temperature. It is a lithium battery, so I have to be mindful of the cold weather. I've drained it plenty of times running the diesel heater. It powers my fridge, no problem. And then of course I can plug in accessories as well as use the inverter to charge batteries or anything like that. It's perfectly fine. Connected to that electrical system is a 100-watt Renogy solar panel that's up on top of the truck. And then of course I've got the upgraded alternator. I think it's the JS alternator. It's like 400 amps out, I think, that feeds this when the truck is on. That's what's really cool about the DC to DC, is that it recognizes when there's power coming from the truck, and if the battery's low, it'll start charging that battery. But then when the truck turns off, it won't pull power from the starter battery. What's also really nice is that when the solar panel is connected into that system, it'll actually, when the truck is off, the solar panel, if the house battery is charged, the Renogy battery, it'll actually start sending power to the starter battery, and will keep the starter battery topped off. It's a pretty cool system. I know Red Arc and Victron and all of them all do the same stuff, but Renogy products are a lot cheaper, and they still provide those same features, and it's been running nonstop for a year and a half now, and I've had no hiccups with it. I've got a Bluetooth app on my phone that I can see the battery percentage as well as all the statistics. As you can see, it's fully charged, 2 days, 4 hours, and 47 minutes remaining on the battery. That's if it was running these lights all the time. And then I can actually click into the battery and see the cell temperatures as well as how much power I've actually generated over the lifetime of it. And currently, over the lifetime, I've generated 78 kilowatt hours, which is quite a lot. So it's done just fine. And I literally, ever since I hooked this up back here, I plugged it in, got everything wired in, tested it for a day with all this out so that I could diagnose anything. And then I covered it up. And it's been like that for a year and a half now. Either I'm really good at wiring, or these products are just really good and I've had no issues with it. So what's next for this system? Well, actually, I think it's pretty much the way I want it now. When I first built this, I didn't put any rhino liner on it. I didn't even have any of the electrical stuff. I just went out and camped with it, just raw wood, everything, to really just figure out exactly how I wanted it and how it would fit when I was actually camping. So overall, it's basically in its finished form now, and it works exactly for our needs and holds everything that we need. If you have any questions on any of the system, obviously I built it myself. I still have the measurements. So if you are a first gen owner, I'm more than happy to share those measurements with you, the orders that I made, just because I think this is such a rock solid system that I built for pretty cheap, especially compared to a Goose Gear system. Goose Gear, nothing wrong with them whatsoever. They just didn't have what I wanted when I was building this system out, especially for the first gen Tacomas. So other than that, if you like this video, make sure to subscribe. Also hit that like button down below. Helps me out. I'm trying to grow this channel. And I guess I will see you guys in the next video.